Hi, this is Marilyn with MKR Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make this chipboard box. It is an easy project. This is part one. That's why the box still looks like this. Part two will be coming in a few days where I show you how to decorate this box so that it is a one-of-a-kind, custom-made box, especially by you. Stay tuned, and I'll show you how we do this. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a chipboard gift box. You need chipboard. I am using just the plain tan chipboard. You can use the black chipboard. That can make a difference in how you do your project. So what we need is we need 2 large pieces. This is the base, and then this will be the lid. And you can make this any size you need for whatever project you're working on. When I made my first album, I made it for my mom as a Christmas gift. And I wanted to make a box to store it in because I was putting family pictures in there of the history of our family. So like my parents' wedding picture, all of us kids, the kids' wedding pictures, and even the pictures of the grandkids when they were little, and their wedding pictures went in there also. So it was kind of a family keepsake heirloom, so I wanted it to be in a nice box to be stored. So I measured that to be probably about 1 inch bigger than the album, so 1/2 inch to 1 inch to make sure that you have plenty of room to get that out. So now your base, I'm just making a small one. I'm using some scraps of chipboard I have to show you how the concept works. And after you figure out the concept, you'll be able to make any size box you want. So the base is the size that you want it for the album or whatever you're going to store in here. You're going to cut the lid about 1/4 of an inch bigger so that will fit firmly, but not be too terribly tight, because once we get the paper and everything on, it's going to add a difference. You also are going to need some 2-inch strips of paper cut to be the length of the base that you're going to be working on. And you're going to score those in half so that it's 1 inch on each side. Then you need to decide how deep your box is going to be, and that will depend on whatever you're going to store in the box or how thick your album is. You want to leave some space to make sure that if the album, fills up a little bit, we all know that they start kind of thin and then they fill up. So you want to make sure there's plenty of room for that. And these are just 2-inch. Like I said, I'm just showing you this. I'll probably use it to put some trinkets or something in here. And then the top of the lid, or the sides of the lid, I have 1 inch on this. Depending, since this is just a 2-inch high, I didn't want to go any more than 1 inch going down. So these are 1 inch and they're cut to fit the top. So when you have your things all cut and ready to go and you have them scored, you're going to put some score tape on this, and that is going to help hold this together. So you can do 2 of the 1/2 inch since it's 1 inch, but I always seem to have trouble with that. So I'm doing a 1/2 inch on the edges. And then I'm taking a 1/4 inch on the inside here. That leaves a little bit of room, but I'm not overlapping on my fold, and I'm not overlapping on my tape, which I tend to do. I can't get it lined up exactly perfect. So take your bone folder and you want to burnish that down. So we're going to start with our base. Let's see, we need to fold this in half yet. And I numbered all my base 1 and all of my lids 2, so that I could keep track of what goes where. So we're going to actually fold this out this way to put this on here. we're going to use our pokey tool or whatever you use to take the tape off. And this is the long side, so we want to fold it back and put it down on our long side, right up to the edge where the fold is. And then we're going to burnish that down. Take another one of our long sides, just fold it back, and we're going to take the tape off again. And line it up and put it down. And do the same thing with our short sides. Line it up, make sure that you're not going over the edges, and put that down. And that seems like it might be a little long. Cut that quick. Okay, and then our last one here. And put that down, and again you want to burnish it all down. Okay, so that is our base. I'm going to write it in here too, so it will be ready to go when we're ready to put our sides on. And also, I don't worry about this because in part 2, I am going to show you how I cover this with decorative paper. Okay? Okay, and I forgot to mention in the beginning, you're going to need little strips that are also the 2 inches wide and scored at 1 inch with the score tape on it for the sides of your box. And you'll need that one to fit the sides and one to fit the lid. So we're going to start putting that together, and we'll take the score tape off one of these, just one side, and we're going to line it up as straight as we can with that score line. And push it down. And we're going to take the other side, and we're going to take that off the tape, and we're going to take our next side piece, and we're going to push it up against here, line it up as best we can, going as straight as we can. And I'm using the graph on my work panel here to try and keep that as straight as possible. We're going to do that again. And you want to make sure that you have your short pieces next to your long pieces. Did I screw this up already? I did. So, word to the wise, don't do it that way. We're going to just put this one on here for now, and we'll line that up when we're done. So if you need instruction on how not to do this, totally forgot about them not being totally equal, because the box almost looks like a square, but it's not quite. Okay, so we're going to cut that edge off, cut off this edge of the paper that came through, score, burnish that down, and take our pokey tool and try that again. So line that up on the graph there, bring this in, get it as straight as possible, and put it down. We're going to take this side, put it in there, and down. And then our last long side. Oops. Line it up. Okay. Now we're going to burnish all these down. And we're going to put our last one on this end. Get up to the fold mark, put it on, burnish that one down. Then we're going to close up our box like this. So we need to take this off. And these black pieces are going on the inside, as you see. If you try to fold it the other way, your box is going to crack at those black spots. So you don't want to do that. All right. So now, take your base, put your box down on it, line it up as best you can, and we're going to start taking off our sides and putting them up to the box. Okay, and push that up. And we're going going to do the other side over here, opposite side. Pull up your tape. I'm not out of screen there. And push it up. And our last side. And push it up and make it nice and tight. So that's the base of your box. Now we're going to work on the lid. So you have the same, move some of this out of the way. I love score tape, but there's a lot to throw away when you're done as far as snippets of stuff, so it's good to keep that out of the way as much as possible. Okay, so we're going to put our edges over there, and we're going to work on this part of our lid. Okay. And we're going to do this just like we did the base. Only remember, this is a 1/4 inch wider and longer than what the base is to make room for it to close. So line this up to the edges. And press it down. And remember, we're only taking the score tape off one side right now. Okay, and line this up with the corner out to the edges here. And you want it at the edges because this is what's going to come up onto your flaps to hold them. So get our last two sides on here. And you want to touch it as little as possible with your fingers because score tape, you know, you'll lose some of your stickiness. And I did that wrong. This is just one wrong thing after another today. There we go. Ever have one of those days that you probably should have just stayed in bed? Thinking this might be mine. But it does feel good to be back in the craft room crafting. After a month away, it's just something I've been looking forward to. Okay. I do have a little bit here that seems to be hanging over a bit. So we're going to get rid of that. Side 2 has a little bit. There we go. That looks good. So let's put that off to the side. And we're going to do our sides of our lid just like we did our sides before. So And this time we're going to make sure we get them in the right order. Okay. So we're going to start by taking off our tape. And you want to get up to that score line as close as you can. Okay, take this side off. Now this is my short side of my lid, so now I'm going to use my long side. I want to line it up nice and straight, so you want up as close to that as you can get, and straight down. Okay, now we need our next okay. Oops. Take the tape off of that. Line it up with the score line as close as you can get it. Now we need our short side again. You want this all as precise as you can get it so that your box isn't wonky when you're done. Okay, another connector. And then our last short piece, or no, that's our long piece. We just put our last short piece on. Okay, and then our last connector is going to go on. This might be a little big. I need to cut that down a bit. I can't cut straight either. You know how I told you I have a crooked eye? I have to measure everything to make sure everything's in the right place. I can't cut straight either. I admire the crafters who can freehand cut stuff straight. It's like, nope, I need my cutting board to make sure everything is nice and straight. Okay, now we're going to turn it over and burnish all of these down. And remember, I told you you have to go out, because if I went this way, it would totally crack that paper and break it. So you have to go out this way to put it together. This is where our last one's going to go. So take those off. Line this up the best you can and put it on there. All right, now we're ready to put it on our lid. So we're first going to get this all down on here, and we're going to start with our long sides. Okay, and now the other long side. And our last short side. Okay, let's see if it fits. And it does. Awesome. So that's part one. If you notice, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's a little bit of, you can see a little opening there and a little opening down there where it didn't quite totally match up because this is the outside that was last put together. But we will totally fix that when we put our decorative paper on, and you will not know. And here you have a nice, elegant gift box that if you make a special gift for someone, you can make a gift box that will totally fit the item you made for them. So I will see you for part 2 in a couple of days. And if you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more of my videos, I hope you hit that subscribe button. And happy crafting, everyone. Have a wonderful day.